Hey everyone, welcome to Fall of the Samurai for Shogun 2. This is a game I really didn't get to play much when it first came out. I was in high school around junior or senior year of high school, and I didn't have my own computer at the time. I was kind of sharing with my mom's laptop, really, and she was very convinced that every time this game installed it broke her laptop. And she holds true to that. She was being truthful about that, even to this date. I don't agree with that assessment of what happened, but you never know, right? The game certainly did not run the best. It wasn't exactly a gaming laptop in the first place, and it probably didn't have much storage space, but this DLC, I really didn't get to play it a whole lot until the last few years. And it's really cool. You get some excellent music from Jeff Van Dyke. You can hear it playing right now. You get that awesome interplay between, fighting samurai versus like cannons and muskets. Just like your kind of classic, Tom Cruise, Fall of the Samurai, Last Samurai movie type scene. And you get to kind of act that out. It's super cool in that sense. I've got a few mods installed, and provided I set up my overlay correctly, here they are. Yep. So most of these are like, a lot of these are graphical. There's a couple that are kind of cheaty. I like having more skill points for general levels, and I like having infinite hero units because, I feel like if I put in the time for the tech and the money, I should just be able to have as many as I want, which does lead to some weird things, like I can have infinite United States Marines, but I just think that's funny. But we'll try to kind of play honorably around the heroes a little bit, right? I won't just spam them. Okay, brass section, calm down. The big one is going to be that we have Darth mod, and a lot of extra units added. That's going to change things a lot, and the last couple times I played this game, I didn't even have Darth mod installed. Fun fact, I actually did record several hours of this game in the past, but my mods were all messed up, and it just wasn't working out the way I wanted it to. But I've played a bunch of campaigns since then, and I really know what I'm doing better than I did before. I understand the game much better now. So we're going to be playing as basically the vanilla, basic, hand me my pumpkin spice latte, ditzy blonde campaign here with our Satsuma. It's basically equivalent to playing Rome in Rome Total War. They get 2 starting provinces, which puts them in an excellent position. They get a -2 reduction to admin costs, which is nice. The leadership is meh, but the 2 starting provinces is just huge. We're going to do a long campaign because I don't like the shorter time limit that I believe comes with the short campaign. Yeah, 1870 instead of 1876. I like having a long time for my campaigns. And domination campaign just increases the amount of provinces you need and absolutely nothing else. So I don't see the point in doing it like that. And completing a campaign in Shogun 2 is rare for me. We're going to do very hard difficulty. I don't like some of the restrictions with Legendary, like battle realism. And the AI, of course, does get its cheats. We're going to be playing the battle difficulty on normal. I don't like giving the AI cheats in battle. I think that's kind of lame. We are not going to search for other players for drop-in battles, but we'll set a time limit of 60 minutes just so I can't waffle around in a battle for 2 hours. And also, if the AI gets stuck while attacking me, that is not my problem. I'll just fast forward. I hate having to hunt down AI in a defensive battle because they refuse to move. That's their problem, not mine. Let's go ahead and start the game. I'll skip the loading screen for you, though. See you on the map. Alright, so here we are on the campaign map. Now we start out here with the game wanting us to increase our development level, and then when we do that, we'll get more wealth from our buildings. We'll see about that. I'm not sure if we can do that quickly enough for my taste. Now let's start just kind of using our brains here and working out the menu and all the buttons and stuff. I kind of like to start right to left, top to bottom, and just run through everything. So at the top here, we do have our map of Japan. We can expand that if we want. Lots of little provinces here to deal with. Looks like we know about 4 factions already. We are at war with Nobunaga. We're, I guess, indifferent with Kumamoto. We know Saga, and we have our vassal of Tanegashima over here, which is very nice. The island, okay. We have 2 provinces. It appears that they make exactly the same amount of money currently. Nagasaki looks very valuable over here with 2,000 income per turn, along with Higo as well. So we want both of these provinces, even though we're not at war with them. You know, Hyuga is much less profitable. Okay. We have 1 fleet, 14 cannons on this one, and this one is just a little gunboat with 3 cannons. Okay, not very good, but those won't do much bombard damage if we choose to bombard an enemy settlement or army. Gonna need like twice the amount of cannons. In our armies tab here, we have 3 forces, small garrisons and generals at each city, and we have our main standing force right here. One thing I'll point out is you're going to see some odd numbers in terms of how many men are in each force, and that's because I went into the preferences script for the game and I changed the scale from like 1.0 to 1.01, and what that does is Darth Mod introduces these large unit sizes of like 300 and 375 men per unit, but it doesn't seem to edit the start pause, so you still have like 200 men in your vanilla units, and it just feels like they're going to be way weaker, right? Because they don't have as many men in them, as many entities to fire, and they can't stretch very far. So all of these units, including like my daimyo, general's commander's unit, would have a very small amount of men in them, and I find that unacceptable. So we're taking the sacrifice of where we're going to recruit soldiers, and they're going to have like 379 men in them instead of 375. In exchange for having better starting units. So just a little note there. As far as our clan relationships go, we're friendly with Kumamoto and we are trading with them. So that means we can't attack them right now. We are hostile with Nobunaga. And Saga's indifferent and we can trade with them. I don't see any reason to not trade with them from the beginning. So we probably want to execute that this turn, if we can. As far as our objectives go, we need to capture Musashi over here, which I guess is the seat of power for the shogunate, I believe. And we need to capture Yamashiro, which I believe this is actually Kyoto. As far as this goes, we have 3 of 26 provinces. I thought we needed 50. We just need loyal 50. Loyal 50. Okay. So that means we need 50 provinces that are like vassals or owned by us. Okay. Or maybe 50 provinces loyal to the emperor. I'm not really sure how that's going to work. Maybe once we have realm divide, we'll know. And then we have our 1 mission in our mission event messages area. Okay. For finances, we are taxing at normal income. We were only getting like 326 from taxes. We're getting a little bit from trade, but at this point, trade is very valuable because we're making very little money. We are very, very poor, and we're paying 1,100 of that into our military, into one of our ships, which isn't even a good ship. Okay. We'll get back to that. Clan development wise, we do need to pick a technology here to research now. So techs in Fall of the Samurai all kind of revolve around the idea of modernization. So you can see here this civil policy here would give us -2 to modernization. Now if we don't have enough modernization, we can't even get to this tier of tech. So what happens is if you get all this stuff that reduces modernization at the beginning, what ends up happening is you actually stall out on your techs for a very long time, especially if you're a player that kind of builds tall like I do versus building wide and capturing the entire world at the beginning. I like to build tall, then expand out. And when you have that playstyle, you'll end up just sitting here on this first tier for ages and ages and ages. So I don't want to do that. So I'm going to be going for the stuff that actually increases modernization, such as arms deals. Arms deals will give us -5% to recruitment cost of all modern units, +1 to modernization, and it'll allow us to recruit, these are Darth Mod units, Blunderbuss Kachi, which I've never used, Rifle Attendants, which I haven't used for like a decade, and Rifle Mercenaries, which again I haven't used for like a decade, since I haven't played this mod since I was in like high school. More than a decade then, like 13 or 14 years, wow. I'm getting old. Diplomacy wise, let's go ahead and see if we can trade with Saga. No. Okay. That sucks. I'm not gonna spend any of my money to make a deal with them. Maybe they'd be willing to if I like threw in some money. Ooh. Okay. Would you accept military access? No. Does that even move the needle? I don't have the money to spend 1,000 on that right now, and it probably would pay for itself. 1,000 over 61, so that would take like 15 plus turns to 15 or so turns to pay out. I don't think so. I will say on the other hand though, if I'm looking at this gunboat, 100 gold per turn is a lot for 3 cannons. We'll get back to that. Let's look at clan management here, so we can see we're pro emperor. We have 8,000 in the treasury. We can see our capital, victory conditions, current missions here. We can actually just say no. It's funny that we can say no to an infinitely long mission. I wonder if there's a limit to how many we can have going. Like if we don't get any other timed missions unless we do this one. I'm okay with it. You can see our clan development level. Interesting. At level 1, we actually have +2 morale to all traditional units. I've never noticed that. Okay. Family and council-wise, looks like we only have one general that's not part of the family. He could be more loyal. But he's fine. Our daimyo, we're going to need to put more honor on him as soon as possible because we want him, with more honor comes more happiness in your cities. And I think better diplomacy too. We can convert our allegiance here to support the shogunate. I'm good. I am fine. Okay. So that's all of our menus swept through. We've seen everything that those offer now, and now we can start kind of clicking around on the campaign map. For people new to Total War, I recommend you do this just in general or for any strategy game that you're not familiar with. Click on all the buttons, read everything. We've been waffling here for 12 minutes. Let's do something. It's unlikely we'll see a battle in this first video. Just an FYI. Okay, so very first thing I want to do is I'm going to scupper this gunboat. I don't want to pay $100 per turn to do basically nothing. Second off, we need to start thinking about what we want to build and what we want to recruit. Our first objective here, since we're at war with Nova Leka, is going to be to take them out. They've got 3 units already, 7 units already, a garrison of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like a garrison of like 6 units. So all told, you know, they got like 12 or 13 units, and we're not going to be able to attack them in winter. And we have like 4, I don't remember how long each season is. I think it's like 6 seasons. We have like 3 or 4 turns left of winter. We can't cross in and attack them like that during winter, or we're going to take attrition casualties, and I don't need that right now. Maybe you're supposed to do that, but I think it's a bad plan because you can't just like siege them down and wait for them to surrender or attack you in the winter. They'll just let you starve out. So it's going to be a few turns. So we're going to build up, which means they're going to build up too. So really, we just want to see if we can get like almost a full stack. To me, the Satsuma campaign, since you start with 2 provinces, it's the perfect campaign to build tall. So your first instinct, I feel like, would be to go into like tenant fields, right? Because you see this plus 550 to wealth generated by farms in this province, plus 900. So you're thinking, wow, I could get, you know, another 400, then another 400 on top by getting it over here too. Not exactly. So let's look at the economy system if you double click on a city here. So how it actually works is here's the farming profit. They're making 715 here. So 550 maybe plus 1.3x base value of farming income. Interesting. And then the town itself has some income to it also. But you notice they're making 1,015 per turn. But what we get is the taxes. So we're only getting like 163 from them, realistically. And if you go into the finances, that starts making a lot more sense, right? Now what we're getting this 1,350 for, that's basically just the game throwing us a bone. Like this is based on difficulty level. You can actually edit this in the pack files for the game if you have like RPFM editor, and you can change it in some of the games. You can, like, I think set it to like normal difficulty. You make this much and so on. So this isn't actually as profitable as it looks at first glance. So kind of the thought is, what do you want to do, right? Well, paying 200 for naval upkeep. We're paying about 1,000 with an income extra of about 737. It will go up over time as these settlements grow. You can see at normal tax rates, though, with the buildings they have, they are not growing. They will not get any more income per turn at all. So something to think about there. They're not growing. So you almost don't want to tax them very much, and it's worth noting that if you raise the tax rate, it actually reduces their growth. So you can see you get more off that tax rate, but you are crippling yourself in some ways. Now, a lot of times, I find it's often valuable to go to very high tax and then back off very high tax over and over and over again. And that can sometimes give you an early game boost, but it definitely, I don't know if, like, mathematically, if it pays off to do that long term. Someone needs to do the math on that and just, like, sit there and with these two settlements and just go very high, normal, very high, normal, and then just go normal, normal, normal for like 20 turns and see what it does. So we really want to think about what to make here. Cadet schools are very, very good. It takes 3 turns to make, so it's likely we wouldn't be done in time. Traditional dojos are really, really, once again, really, really good. But it messes with your modernization. So I can't make that right now. But I could make a cadet school. Here's the issue, though. If I make a cadet school, Satsuma is clearly the best place to be recruiting units from, because you can look here and you see that they have the ironworks. They have the blacksmith over here for this iron resource, the smithing resource. Plus 10 to accuracy for all units recruited in the province. Let's look at the accuracy. Accuracy starting for your worst unit is 15. That would give them a boost to 25 at the next level. Actually, no, they start at 10. They're getting 15 by starting here. Okay, so they're getting 1/3, 30%, 33% extra accuracy just from the starting building. Okay, that's no joke. Now, accuracy obviously goes up with some more units, but it's still very significant, right? So, something to consider there. So you really don't necessarily need to recruit from Asami. So this would be more suited to having like a building that does a little bit of extra wealth. For example, inns. I find inns to be very valuable because they give you that early game happiness, and they also allow you to get a little bit of extra income, and you can start recruiting geishas. On the flippity flop, I like to have my Ishin Ishi at the very beginning of the game. You get him by having the police station, which just comes with Satsuma, and we'll hire him. Now, usually in a vanilla campaign, I would be deleting this police station because usually I find that the happiness is not worth it. I recruit my Ishin Ishi, you put him in the town of Satsuma, that makes the town happy, and then you don't need the garrison there anymore. You pull the garrison out, which we will do. You pull the garrison out of here, you put the Ishin Ishi in, that keeps the happiness up, you delete the police station, you put a cadet school here. However, in this campaign, because we have Darth Mod and the additional units mod for Darth Mod, we have Imperial Loyalists available, which have 30 accuracy and not completely terrible melee attack and defense. these actually take the place of what I would be using a cadet school for at the very beginning of the game. So I don't actually need the cadet school. I can keep the police station. It is really changing everything. So I think I want to guarantee that I'm recruiting. Always try to be recruiting if you can. My first thought is probably to put a port here because we're not getting the growth for this town. They're actually losing some growth. So let's get a port so they can start growing a little bit. That'll help. And does that increase modernization too? It doesn't. But then I can't build the ironworks, but I think we're just going to have to hold off on that this campaign. So weird. This changes things an awful lot for me. Okay, so we're recruiting 2 loyalists. I would think we want to go up to 4 at least. And that would take us up to having 6 gun units, which would be serviceable, barely serviceable. Let's move our military advisor here first. With pleasure, sir. What's his name? Seth Patrick. Sounds almost like an American name to me. So our military advisor, while he's supervising recruitment, he reduces the cost, the recruitment cost of units. I don't know if it works. You see I deleted them from the queue and recreate. I don't know if it posthumously, you know, gives you the benefit after, if you put them in the city after you have clicked the recruitment button. I'm really not sure, so I'm just going to play it safe. I'd like to have at least... I'd like to have 6 melee units. Generally, I'd like to have at least 6 infantry, traditional infantry units. And the reason for that is that I like to have 2 behind 3 formations of line infantry. Typically, just how I do my armies in this game. I have a build that I prefer. My build does not include sharpshooters though, and I've recently come around to kind of liking sharpshooters, so we might start experimenting with those in this campaign. Change up my army build order. The other thing I'd like to do is start recruiting another Corvette. So I might change this up a little bit. Let's see. It's a very expensive investment, the Corvette, but 1542, 1590. He's a little cheaper from here. It's certainly an investment, but I think it's one I want to make for sure. It makes your bombardments much more effective, and we do start with this ship. It's a big advantage that we get, and we should expand upon that advantage where we can. And in general, I'm also going to start trying to bombard Hyuga. The chances of actually getting any damage are low, but if I get lucky, I might hurt their cadet school. And that'll stop them from recruiting for a turn or 2, which would give me a big advantage. If we had 2 of these Corvettes, we would be actually much more likely to do damage on these bombards, but c'est la vie. Only 2 happiness over here in Osmi. I think we won't touch anything there. Okay, 23 minutes in. We are through turn 1. Satsuma LP1. Let's end the first turn. One very nice thing about Shogun 2, the turns go so fast. Look at that. Boop. We're back in. Rome 2, eat your heart out. Let's put our loyalists in here. We're not really in that much fear of this attack. I mean, it would take them 3 or 4 turns to get over here. It'd be so easy to intercept. As you can see, we're just not going to cause damage here very well. So normally, I'd have my Ishinishi go over to Satsuma and sit in Satsuma. But since I have the police station, I'm kind of the mind of putting them over here in Osmi instead. I think that's going to be the case. Yeah, I like that. And then we'll make 2 more loyalists, I think. That's basically going to be our early game army. We might have enough room for 1 more spear levy. Yeah, I like that. And next turn we'll have the military advisor step out along with the force. We'll have 6 shooters. We'll have 3 units of samurai, mounted or dismounted, very large since we did the little fix for the unit sizes, the vanilla start pause unit sizes. We'll have a ship coming out. We'll have an Ishinishi and a military advisor and a port on the way, along with an inn on the way. Techs. We have 5 more for arms deals. It's going to be a bit. And then we should be hitting very close to that end of winter timing to go invade. Not perfectly close, but close enough. Okay, they want us to capture Hyuga. That's the game trying to nudge me. All right, let's combine these now. These fleets. So now we have 28 cannons to bear instead of 14. Still fails to cause damage. Yeah, that's not surprising. It's fine. All good. One frustrating thing about Shogun 2 versus, say, Rome 2 is that agents don't, like, properly attach to stuff. So even if I hit Control A here to move everyone, he doesn't move. So you have to, like, manually move your agents and stuff with every movement. It's fine at the beginning of the game. It gets very frustrating by the end of the game where you're managing, you know, 8 or 9 different stacks. And I find that this game isn't designed well to have 40-man armies. Rome 2's like UI is just better for that in general. I think this game was the first one where it was even possible, but yeah. So we have the +1 happiness from the police station, so we really don't need the Ishi here just yet. And you can see we're now making like no profit at all. So I'm not even gonna create this spear levy. We're gonna subsist off of this, which is 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 or 14 units is not a bad start. I'm happy with that. So I think it's 1 more turn until end of winter, right? Yeah, perfect. So yeah, we're gonna hit that timing just right with a nice, decently sized stack. We're still not causing any damage. That sucks. So I would target the Naito Munefusa here, but he would just replenish his units by the time I get to him. So I don't care. I think we're just gonna burn another turn unless they just want to trade with us.
An unexpected meeting may, with hindsight,
Okay.
turn out to be welcome.
This would be worth it if they just take a little bit. Are you willing to take like 400? Okay. Are you willing to take like 300? Are you willing to take just military access? No, that makes them angry for some reason. 250? No, 300? 300 is pretty good. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, we need the money. We really, really need the money right now. Okay. Let's burn another turn. Maybe I can do kind of a long episode and get into a fight here, or I can start the next episode with the first fight. Either way. Okay, we got our port over here now, so now we are actually ready to start growing. We're not losing growth anymore, and now we've added commerce to this town. Very cool. This town doesn't have commerce. I guess that's the inn, right? Yeah, long term I'll probably replace this police station, but I would replace it with a cadet school, not an inn or a police station. Okay, now we move over here. No damage on any bombardments, really sucks. The chances are pretty low with such a small fleet, but sometimes you get lucky. It's worth trying. It's better than doing, you know, nothing with your fleet for sure. So yeah, okay. This is what I expected. The AI is going to step back into Hyuga, which makes perfect sense. They're not going to want to come out and fight me head on. So we're going to be fighting a force of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, plus 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 against 14, I think. It's a fair fight for sure. We definitely do not want to attack into this. We would lose this for sure. And I think their garrison infantry might beat out our loyalists, or very, very close to beat them out, so it's pretty scary. We definitely have to outperform them. 73 casualties with that bombardment is good, though, and now they won't replenish because they're just in the town. So there's nothing I can do with the money I have. Like, literally, there are no moves. So, early game woes. And they do attack me. Well, we are 30 minutes in, just about. By the time I finish this sentence, we will have been 30 minutes in. So, my thinking here is, let's do this battle on the next episode. We'll start the next battle, the next episode, with our very first real fight. I'll see you guys then. Take it easy.